The cabin lights flickered exactly 1 minute after takeoff. Not a soft flicker. Not turbulence. A violent blink. On, off, on, like the plane itself had just opened and closed its eyes. Flight 666 had barely climbed above the clouds when the screams began. At first, passengers thought it was a prank. A nervous laugh rippled through the economy cabin. Someone joked about the flight number. Someone else muttered, "Bad luck, man." But when the oxygen masks dropped without warning and the temperature inside the cabin plunged like winter breaking through steel, fear took over. Captain Robert Hale gripped the controls. 30 years of flying. Storms. Engine failures. Near misses. Nothing prepared him for what appeared on his instrument panel. Every screen went black. Then one by one, they came back on, displaying a message that didn't belong to any system on the aircraft. "Welcome back." The co-pilot swallowed hard. "Sir? Back from where?" Before the captain could answer, a woman screamed from row 19. Her voice cracked through the cabin, sharp and desperate. Heads turned. Phones came out. The flight attendants rushed toward her, but they stopped mid-aisle, frozen. Row 19 was empty. The woman was screaming anyway. Passengers heard her voice clearly, echoing between the seats, crying for help, begging someone to wake her up. A child started crying. A man crossed himself. Someone whispered, "This is a joke, right?" Then the voice said something that made every hair on board stand up. "This plane crashed before." The lights went out completely. For 10 seconds, Flight 666 was swallowed by total darkness. When the lights returned, half the passengers were gone. No explosion. No alarms. Just empty seats, open seatbelts, blankets still folded. As if those people had never existed. Panic exploded. People stood, screamed, pushed. A man ran toward the cockpit, shouting that his wife was missing. A flight attendant collapsed, sobbing, repeating, "This isn't possible." But it was. Because Flight 666 wasn't on its first journey. 5 years earlier, an American Airlines aircraft with the same number vanished over the Atlantic. No wreckage. No black box. Officially erased. Quietly buried. Replaced in records by another flight, another route, another excuse. And now it was back. The intercom crackled. Not with the captain's voice. With static. And breathing. Slow. Wet. Close. Then a whisper slid through the cabin speakers, wrapping around every passenger's ears. "You should not have boarded." The plane shook violently. Luggage fell from overhead bins. A man was knocked unconscious. Outside the windows, the sky wasn't blue anymore. It was red. Thick clouds rolled past like burning flesh, lit from within by distant lightning that didn't flash, it pulsed, like a heartbeat. Captain Hale slammed the controls. "Mayday! Mayday! This is American Airlines Flight 666, we are experiencing." The radio answered him. In his own voice. "Experiencing total loss of control. There are no survivors." The captain stared at the radio in horror. That's my voice," the co-pilot whispered. A sudden pressure filled the cabin. Ears popped. Chests tightened. People gasped as if the air itself was being squeezed out of them. Then the aisle filled with something else. Footsteps. Heavy. Slow. Coming from the back of the plane. A tall shape emerged between the rows. It wore a pilot's uniform, burned, torn, soaked in something dark. Its face was wrong, melted, eyes hollow, glowing faintly red. Passengers screamed and scrambled over seats. The thing stopped near row 13. Remain seated, it said calmly. Its jaw cracked when it spoke. I am your captain. A woman tried to run past it. The thing grabbed her. She didn't scream. Long. Her body folded inward like paper, pulled into its shadow, vanishing without a sound. The seatbelt clicked closed by itself where she had been. The intercom chimed again. This flight will be landing shortly, the voice said. Prepare for impact. In the cockpit, every alarm blared at once. Altitude dropping. Speed increasing. Destination flashing on the navigation screen. Not a city. A set of coordinates. The co-pilot typed them into a satellite map. Nothing came up, except an old news article. Unidentified crash site. Classified. All recovery personnel deceased. The captain's hands shook. We're not landing anywhere on Earth. Behind them, pounding echoed against the cockpit door. Bang! Bang! A voice cried out. Please, open the door. The captain opened it. No one stood there. Just a trail of wet footprints leading backward, ending at a seat where a man sat calmly, eyes black, smiling too wide. He spoke without moving his lips. Only one of you can leave. The plane began its descent. Passengers were dragged screaming into the aisle by unseen hands. Some vanished into the floor. Others were pulled into the walls. The screams layered over each other until they became one continuous sound of terror. A countdown appeared on every screen. 60 seconds. 50. The captain looked at the co-pilot. We have to do something. The co-pilot nodded, tears streaming. I know. At 10 seconds, the co-pilot shoved the captain out of the cockpit and locked the door from inside. What are you doing? The captain screamed. The co-pilot smiled sadly. I wasn't supposed to be on this flight. He slammed the controls forward. The plane shook violently. At 0, everything went white. Captain Hale woke up on the runway. Emergency crews surrounded the aircraft. Flight 666 sat silently behind him, engines cold, doors sealed. They told him there were no passengers on board. No crew. Just him. Official reports called it a hallucination. Stress. Survivor's guilt. But sometimes, late at night, the captain hears an announcement on his phone radio. Now boarding American Airlines Flight 666. And somewhere, the countdown starts again.